This is Moray Robert B. Holman Jr.
And Maury Sean Appleton.
And this is Hebrews in Exile.
Why you do that to me, man? I ain't ready at all. They got me. Come on.
You're ready. You always ready.
What you got?
Always ready. I have used as my motto, truth matters.
Yep. You say that a lot.
So I'm going to use the words from Shaul in Galatians 4:16.
4:16.
Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
You're not my enemy. Not at all.
How do we get our people to resonate or even get their ear to connect to truth in the midst of such a vast volume of editorialized lies?
That's almost like asking, how do we solve world peace?
Okay, so I said last week, I said last week, it's hard for a lie
To trump
truth.
Yeah, you said that. Sure.
Let's understand something.
Sure.
First Tabernacle Fellowship is not a Christian religious organization.
Correct.
We are a Hebraic learning institute.
Right.
Meaning
Right.
that we teach
Yeah.
Hebraically
Right.
an understanding of Scripture.
Right.
That's what we do. Our culture, our mannerism of doing things is not after a Christian order.
Correct. Correct. Not in the slightest.
If the Most High didn't say it, we don't do it.
100%.
Now,
Okay.
you and I had a conversation earlier today,
Yeah, we did.
and I told you that one of the erroneous errors that the Greeks and the Romans did was to mistranslate Scripture.
Right.
All Scripture comes from the origin of what is called the Masorah, or the Masoretic text.
Right.
So when you read the Masoretic text is written in Hebrew. So if I was to read the text Hebraically, and you hear me speak it, I'm translating it.
Translating it, yeah.
From the translation, you could translate it very easily and leave it as it is.
Correct.
But from the translation, you have what is called the transliteration.
Right.
Which imposes to reflect on what the translation really means and what it's saying.
Okay.
Greece and Rome more than Greece, because Rome is the entity that has canonized the scripture have written the text and made it confusing because they've taken a lot of things out of context or mistransliterated it.
Okay.
And the problem being is that people who go to seminary and their seminarian theologians and professors don't have a doggone clue
Yeah.
as to what has taken place, and they pass this Greek Roman text off as being inerrant and the word and the true word of the Most High, and that's the first lie.
100%. 100%.
So those who would criticize what I'm saying would say, well,
The cynics, yeah.
where do you come off saying that? Well, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Who are the Romans and who are the Greeks? Are they European? Who is Hebrew Israel? Is Hebrew Israel European, or are they also misrepresented in the Greeks and the Romans' writings by identifying them as the Jews, as opposed to identifying them as the Hebrew people
The people, yeah.
of Yahweh?
Yep. That's what they need to be identified as.
So we have all these misconceptions
Sure.
that we're basing fact upon, and we're speaking that this is what Yahweh has said. In our ignorance, we are promoting and saying something that you're saying that he said that he did not say, and now you have forgotten and you have not taken to heart the fact that the Most High says in text, woe to the person that says, I have said
when I haven't
and I haven't said
said at all.
at all.
Right.
And you're going around promoting the fact that I've said something that I haven't said, so you're lying on me.
That would be true.
Now, according to your Greek text, because it's not in our text.
Right?
Your Greek text says all liars will have their part in the lake of fire.
Yep.
So shut the front door.
Come on. The floor is yours. I know you want to. It's right there. You holding back for some odd reason.
Now, I'm going to reiterate something that I said last week.
Okay.
If the Greek text says that the things of the Spirit are spiritually discerned, I talked about that last week,
Okay.
then when someone talks about the things of the Spirit and you say you have been born of the Spirit, born again of the Spirit, and have the Spirit within you, the Spirit within you should recognize the things that the Spirit is saying, because the things of the Spirit are spiritually discerned.
Correct. Correct.
So if I'm telling you things of the Spirit and you don't get it, and you wash it off as non-existent, or you wash it off as having been reversed, done away with, okay, then I have to ask you a question. What did the Spirit say? The Spirit said, I am not a human being. One. I do not lie. Two. Nor do I change my mind. Three.
Okay.
So in any context in which that we're dealing with trying to deduce or understand what the Spirit is saying, and we augment it, change it to fit another paradigm or another thought,
Yeah.
then that's not an act of the Spirit.
Okay. Can I play devil's advocate?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. All right. What do you say to that person that says, okay, I was raised over here, and that what you talking about over there, because I don't know nothing about it. So yeah, it's not going to resonate with me at all. So what you're talking about doesn't resonate with what my spirit says that this is the truth.
So what did I say? What did I say? You are claiming to be born again
Okay.
of water and spirit.
Right.
So if you're being born again of water and spirit, and if old things have been passed away and all things become new, then you can't continue to ride on what you have been taught in the past, because now you're supposed to be walking in the newness of life.
True. Okay.
The newness of life that you're walking in is supposed to be directed by the set apart Spirit. When did the set apart Spirit come into existence? Did the set apart Spirit come in existence in 325 AD with the institution of the Christian church under Constantine? Was that when the set apart Spirit came into existence? Or does the set apart Spirit predate everything?
Right. And that's what I'm trying to have, and you walked right into it, is to reiterate what that Spirit is. What is Spirit? Because they're going to argue that Spirit is Christ, their whole entire Christianity thing. And if we don't, you took it the step further, where you said, okay, you defined it already on what it is.
So let's go to what we did earlier.
Okay.
We go to Bereshit 1.
Okay.
Get it for me?
Okay.
And I want you to read Bereshit 1. You know it verbatim Hebraically.
Oh, I can do it out of there.
Well, yeah, but you know it verbatim.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's do you want me to say it in Hebrew?
Yeah, say it in Hebrew.
Let me get it right then. I'm not gonna mess this up. I ain't gonna, not on live camera, I'm not. Something starts off with Bereshit Bahar.
Yeah. So what we have taking place here.
Okay.
Now, I started this conversation by saying that the Masoretic text, which is written in Hebrew, and when you read it, when you hear it, what he's going to say, he is going to translate. What you're going to hear is the words of the Hebrew writing translated. What do the words say? Translate it.
Okay. So it says Bereshit, which is in the beginning. Ba'ar, which is created. Elohim.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Elohim.
Go ahead.
So who is Elohim?
See, I already know the answer to this question.
See,
set
no,
apart
really.
spirit.
I mean, really. I'm going to ask her. So, who is Elohim?
Right.
Is Elohim Jesus Christ?
No. Nope. Not in the slightest.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
No, I know you are.
Okay. Oh, I know. You're asking a rhetorical question for that.
Yeah. So, is Elohim Christ? Now, the transliteration of that, okay, is still going to be Elohim.
Yep.
It's not going to be God. It's not going to be Lord.
Right.
Elohim's going to be Elohim. Translated Elohim, transliterated, it's still going to be Elohim. So in the beginning, Elohim, which is the absolute,
All
existent, singular, omniscient, omnipresent spirit created.
Right. Do I jump in here and deal with the plurality of that?
Can if you want to.
Okay. Some people might come back and say, well, Elohim, if you're studying Hebrew, Elohim, because of the...
No, if you're studying, you mean if you're studying Greek. Because if you're, for where you're going, if you're studying it Hebraically, there's no way you're going to get to a triune God.
A triune, yeah. So
Or
even
a multiplicity of gods.
Right, because they're going to come back and say, okay, well, look at it this way. This is how we know more multiplicity was there, because of how the uses of Elohim is here. Because that im on the back of Elohim is plurality. It means, well, it's like saying something with an S in English. But the word Elohim, if we're looking at it grammatically in the sentence, is what we call a concerted abstract plural. It's
a what?
A concerted abstract plural.
A what?
Concerted abstract plural.
Now,
is what it is.
Now just stay off. Put a pin. I'm going to come back to this. Do you realize what you just said? I'll bet you whatever amount of money you want to bet that the cemeterian professor don't have a doggone clue
What I'm getting ready to do.
what that is.
What that is?
Because that cemeterian professor is going to tell you that plurality gives us the right to establish three gods in one.
Right. But
now use the word again. It's what?
It's a concerted abstract plural. And this is I'm going to give you an example of what it is. Deer. Is that plural or singular?
Deer?
Can that be plural? So a concerted abstract plural is a word that can be singular and plural at the same time. You have to be able to use it in its context on what it's talking about, whether or not it's plural or it's singular. If I say I have a deer, then that means I have a deer.
Yes.
But I have deer out there.
Yes.
There are deer out there.
Yes.
That means that there are many of them.
Yeah.
So you have to use it within the context of the sentence in order to understand whether it's plural or whether it's singular.
Yeah.
We have text that sets a precedent that the Most High says, I was the only one that was there in the beginning that made everything. So in this particular sentence, as you're reading it, it's talking about the singularity of the Most High, not the plurality. It's called a concerted abstract plural. And there are plenty of words that do that. I'm going to give you another one. News.
Who?
News.
Noon?
News.
Nude?
N-E-W-S.
Oh, news.
News.
Nude.
News. Not nude. You messing with me now. News. Like you read the news?
Oh, news. News.
Wow.
News. Reading the news. Okay.
Yeah, news.
News. Okay.
News. Okay. So I have news.
All right.
Do I have plenty news or do I have news? I'm telling you about something.
Yes.
Singular.
Yes.
Versus there's news in the paper.
Right.
Which is meaning there's multiplicity of things. You got
Yeah.
again, It can be singular or plural depending on how you use it.
All right.
Consider it abstract plural. But if we continue to keep going, it says Elohim, et, which is a what? In Hebrew. That et word is et. It doesn't actually translate to anything.
Yeah.
It says right here, Hashamayim. Hashamayim is the heavens. It says ve'et, which is another connector, doesn't translate to anything. And then it says, ha'aretz. So it's the word. The term is Bereshit, Bahar, Elohim, et, Hashamayim, ve'et, ha'aretz.
So
in the beginning, the Most High made the heavens and the earth.
So now that was the translation of the text. The transliteration of the text, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. So you're not changing Elohim to be in the beginning God. Because I can't use that term as a reflection of the Most High, because it has a idolatrous origin.
Right. So you're
Let me see if I can.
It translates exactly the way it is.
Let me
So
see
it's
if I can-
Elohim is Elohim.
Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I wasn't going there. Let me see if I can find that. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Productive tools. Where is it? It's right in here. It's in Notability. Let's go here. Let's go here. So if I am looking at this term God, get out of here. If I'm looking at this term God and its origin, I have to look at God, Gad, Gud are all interrelated names. God was a common Teutonic Germanic word that was applied to superhuman beings of heathen mythologies. So it's okay if you're going to use that term in relationship to Jesus Christ, because he is a superhuman being of heathen mythologies.
Ouch.
He's a demigod.
Ouch.
The latter word, God, was adopted by Christianity as the generic name for the supreme being. Listen, it was adopted by Christianity. It has become the most popular translation for the Hebrew word Elohim. As a result, most Christendom believes that the name of Elohim is God, and does not know that the personal name of the Father is Yahweh. Gad was the Babylonian, Canaanite, Syrian city of good luck or fortune, also called Mene, the god of destiny, who was regarded as the Lord Moon. The city of Gad was named after this deity. Gad was identified with Jupiter, the sun deity, and applied to Nimrod, whose general character was that of a sun god or sun deity. Gud was an Anglo-Saxon name for good God versus evil God. So now, in its existence into the scriptures, the heathen nations who transliterated the Masoretic text and gave us this thing that's called the Bible changed the name of the Most High 68,000 times in text by giving him this Teutonic Germanic word, God, and they adopted it, which means that they violated the golden rule: you shall not add to
or take away from.
nor should you take away from. So when I talk to you, I try to eliminate using that word in reference to the Most High because of its origin. But every Bible, even our complete Jewish Bible
Yep.
has it written in there. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they're all influenced by European writers. European people have taken the Hebraic Masoretic text, augmented it, changed the verbiage to suit their ability to promote their agenda.
100%. Yeah, where we leave off?
I'm going back to it. I'm going back.
Okay.
I'm going back. I'm trying to find something else here. Trying to find something else here. Hold on just a minute. Now, we've talked about God. Mm-hmm. Now we have to talk about Lord, because they've changed Lord. Lord and God are interchangeable in thought in Scripture. So now, when an unthoughtful person thinks, he wants to make Lord systemic with God as being the supreme, all-existent one. Okay?
Okay.
So now we look at this word. Lord comes from an Old English spelling of lard, L-A-R-D, which comes from lar, L-A-R, or larth, or lares, the Etruscan and Roman deities associated with sun worship. The Greek word kurios was originally a title for the Greek and Roman sun deity Helios, and was called the Kurios. Kurios is Lord of heaven and earth. The Hindu god Krishna is also known as Lord. The title Lord was equally applied to all heathen deities. Most Bible translators continue to use the title Lord as a substitute for the name of Yahweh. So we have these two conflicting terminologies that are derived from and associated with things that are related to deities and things that are not related at all to the Most High. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to come back.
Okay.
When we look at this issue of, in the beginning, Elohim, mm-hmm. we're talking about the absolute all-existent spirit. We're not talking about adding to, subtracting. We're being pure in our thought. Okay?
Okay.
So when we get into the book of Romans, the book of Romans has also been altered by the European writers of text.
Okay.
You have so eloquently pointed out and brought to my attention something that I never thought of, like most readers of text and most Christians did. We never thought or made a hard line connection with Jesus being a Hebrew.
Yep.
Okay. And Paul being a Hebrew, even though in Philippians he tells us who he is. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we know that we've got Hebrew men speaking in text. And when we read in text, now don't get it wrong. I am not supporting of the Hebrew text. I'm only supporting of what is correct within the Hebrew text and pointing out the discrepancies in terms of what the European writers have done to the black man's writings.
Okay.
Hebrew people are black people.
It's interesting that you called it in the Hebrew text.
Yeah.
Are you referring to like Paul's writings?
Yes.
Actually, Hebrew. I'm stealing your thunder. Never mind.
No.
Paul's writings are Hebrew texts.
Yes.
That have been tampered
With and altered. Now, Because the seminaries don't understand. And I'd love to bring one of them up in here.
Me too.
I'd love to bring one of them up in here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, what's your understanding of the Hebrew text?
Mm.
What's the backdrop of so and so and so and so?
Why are they saying
Why are
this?
they saying so and so and so and so?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have an understanding when they say something or teach something in relationship to the backstory that Shaul is talking or writing about. So they just write it out as it was probably written in one of Paul's writings. And like they have done the Hebrew text, the Masoretic text, in translating and transliterating, they have probably mistranslated what Paul really said.
Yeah.
Because they did, the idiots wanted to make sure that we never got our hands on what these writers said. They destroyed volumes of the Hebrew people's writings so that we would never have anything to compare them to.
Yeah.
What they couldn't do is they could not destroy the Masoretic text, which we can map things back to.
Right. 100%.
So let's walk through a little bit of Paul.
Paul. Okay. Where are we in Romans?
We're in chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Okay.
And I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this
Okay.
like a Hebrew would read it, because a Hebrew is writing it.
Okay.
And we're gonna extract.
Good. This is going to be good. All
we're
right.
going to extract the Greek implied references that really don't fit the conversation.
Okay.
But they're making it fit the conversation as though Paul is on board with it.
Okay.
But now let's go somewhere else before I get here. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to where my scriptures go. Let's go to oh no, I don't want that. Let's go to Acts. Acts. Oh, here it is. Come on. Let's go to Acts.
You know what you're getting ready to do?
Yeah.
It's just like we're getting ready to listen to a sermon from somebody, and we're getting ready to stop every 5 seconds. They mess up and say something that's not Hebraic.
Let's go to Acts 24 and 14.
24 and 14. Got it.
And as you listen to what I'm saying tonight, you have to put a pin in this, and you have to lock this down in your mind, okay? But this I do admit to you. I worship the Elohim of our fathers in accordance with the way which they call a sect. I, Paul, I'm interjecting Paul, but he's writing, continue to believe everything that accords with the Torah / law. I'm interjecting law because Torah is law. And everything written in the prophets. And I continue to have hope in Elohim, which they too accept, that there will be a resurrection of both the righteous and the unrighteous. Stop it right there.
Okay.
Because the point of emphasis is, I believe
everything
that accords with the Torah and everything written by the prophets.
Yep.
I believe everything written with the law or the Torah. For reading Greek text is going to say law, everything written with the law and everything written by the prophets. So now you cannot say that. You can't say that and then get over here in Romans and Galatians and then
say
deny your position. Okay?
Right. Good
Got it?
backdrop. Yep.
So let's deal with chapter 1. I just want I want to point out how it's written and how it's messed up, and I want to read it from a Hebraic perspective.
Okay.
From Shaul.
Romans chapter 1, verse 1.
I'm gonna negate of the Messiah Yeshua. I'm gonna negate that. Because Shaul is an emissary. Because I was called and set apart for the good news of Yahweh. Okay? Yahweh promised this good news in advance through his prophets in the Tanakh. Okay? Mm-hmm. You have to listen carefully to the words that follows. Okay? Mm-hmm. The words that follow said, the good news in advance in the prophets, it concerns his son.
Stop. Who's his son?
Okay? Shemot chapter 4:22.
There you go.
Then you are to tell Paro, Yahweh says, Israel is my firstborn son.
Exodus 4:22. Yep.
So Hebraically, if we extrapolate Yeshua out of the text, okay, the good news in advance is through his prophets, and it concerns Israel.
Correct.
His firstborn son. Mm-hmm. Okay? Israel is not a descendant from David physically.
Correct.
Okay? So that's wrong.
Right.
He was powerfully demonstrated to be the Son of God spiritually. Now, what you're saying is this Jesus guy, okay, mm-hmm, has been spiritualized into the text.
Correct.
He's not normalized into the text. He's spiritualized into the text. For which what we do in Christianity is things that we don't understand. We spiritualize it to make it fit and make it work. We spiritualize a text. We spiritualize a text that's supposed to go in a round hole to fit in a square hole.
Mm. Okay.
And because the hearer does not know the difference, because I'm supposed to be the authority that's speaking, they take what I'm saying as being gospel.
Okay.
But they don't read.
Right.
They don't study. Mm-hmm. Now, when they say they study and they read, they're studying and reading and they're regurgitating the same thing with the same mindset that it's been brought about, as opposed to studying with the spirit that they're supposed to have been born with. And if I'm studying with the spirit and things which are spiritually discerned, then the spirit will allow me to be able to eradicate out of text that which is not spirit.
Right. Right. Cool.
So the opening of Paul's writing in some instances is not spirit, because they've spiritualized Yeshua or Jesus into the text.
Okay.
Okay. Now, all of the text in verses 3 through 4 is an error according to Luke's writings. The text says that he is a descendant of David. Luke said he is a descendant of Levi, mm-hmm, by connecting him to his mother, mm-hmm, who is the cousin of Elizabeth, who is a descendant of Aharon, who is a Levite.
It's a Levite.
Luke chapter 1, verse 5, where it says that Elizabeth was a descendant of Aharon, a Levite. Elizabeth is Mary's cousin, so she resides in Levi and not in Yehuda. So JC is not, as Romans 3 and 4 state, he is not a descendant of David. So that part of text is an error.
So, and you know what emphasizes it? When it says he is descendant from David physically. You ruled it all out, but the emphasized word here is physically. Not spiritually, how they believe it, even if they were to acquiesce. But we drill down even further when it says he has to be physically from David, and he's not. His stepdaddy was from the tribe of Yehuda. He's not physically from the tribe of Yehuda. His daddy's supposed to be the Holy Spirit.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Verse 5.
Okay.
Through him, we receive grace and were given the work of being an emissary on his behalf, promoting trust-grounded obedience among the Gentiles. Well, now that piece of text is talking about Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Again.
According to Philippians chapter 3, verse 5, Shaul is a Hebrew and not a Gentile.
Correct.
This text is trying to incorporate the nations into the discussion and make them equal with Hebrew Israel.
Which is not.
The nations can never be equal with Hebrew Israel because Isaiah chapter 40 says that the nations are nothing but a drop in a bucket and a speck of dust to him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he writes to Israel, whom I love.
Mm-hmm.
And everything in the Hebrew text is to Israel, whom he loves, not to the nations.
Yep.
Verse 6, including you, who have been called by Yeshua the Messiah. Well, you can't call anybody. Okay? Now, verse 7. All those in Rome whom Yahweh loves, who have been called, who have been set apart for him. For who? See, all those whom Yahweh loves, who are set apart for Yahweh.
Correct.
Grace to you and shalom from Elohim our Father. Period.
Period. This back half can go away. Yep.
Period. Be a period. First, I thank Yahweh for all of you because the report of your trust is spreading throughout the whole world. For Yahweh, whom I serve in my spirit, is by spreading the good news about his son Israel, what it should be,
right,
is my witness that I regularly remember you in my prayers, and I always pray that somehow, now or in the future, I might, by Yahweh's will, succeed in coming to visit you. Now, the reason he can't go and visit you because he's writing from prison.
He's in jail, yep.
For I long to see you, so that I might share with you some spiritual gift that can make you stronger. Or, to put it another way, so that by my being with you, we might, through the faith we share, encourage one another. Brothers, I want you to know that although I have been prevented from visiting you until now, I have often planned to do so in order that I might have some fruit among you, just as you have among other Gentiles. So now we know that who he's writing to Hebrews.
Yeah.
Because he's saying the Hebrews have fruit that they have with the other Gentiles. Now, Hebrew nation can have fruit with the Gentile nations. 15 and 15 of Numbers, there shall be one law or one Torah for you Hebrew and the foreigner, or the nations that reside with you, which are the nations or the Gentiles. I owe a debt to both civilized Greeks and uncivilized people. Now, I don't know who that is.
Right.
But in both the educated and the ignorant, therefore I'm eager to proclaim the good news also to you who live in Rome. Now we got to go to Isaiah 52, 5 and 7. Get me Isaiah 52, 5 and 7, because let me see here. Let me see. Where is it? Isaiah 52, 5 and 7. Isaiah, where are you? Isaiah 52, 5 and 7.
How beautiful.
So now 52, 5 and 7 says, how beautiful on the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news, proclaiming peace, bringing good news of good tidings and salvation, and saying to Zion, your Elohim is king. Your Elohim is king. Now we have to ask a question. Who is Isaiah writing to? Because you're taking things and pasting it in your text without understanding who the writer is talking to. In Isaiah 52, Isaiah is talking to and writing to Hebrew Israel. Now, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the good news, since it is Yahweh's, now listen, it is Yahweh's powerful means of bringing salvation to everyone who keeps trusting. Trusting in what?
Yeah.
See? He hasn't told you yet what you're trusting in. And then the text says to the Jew, it should say to Israel,
Right.
especially, but equally to the Gentile nations. For in it is revealed how, now listen, in the good news, which is what we read in Isaiah,
Right.
is revealed how Yahweh makes people righteous in his sight, and from beginning to end, it is through trust, as the Tanakh says and puts it, but the person who is righteous will live his life by trust. That text is coming from Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 4. Look at the proud. He is inwardly not upright, but the righteous will obtain life through trusting faithfulness. Habakkuk knows what trusting faithfulness is. Trusting faithfulness is in the work of the teachings of the Most High, his rules and his instructions. Habakkuk knows that. Habakkuk is not going off, he ain't going off the reservation.
He ain't.
So now, when we get back up here of this trusting faith, Shaul is telling you something, but he's telling you something from a backstory that he's not inserting into the text, because he keeps talking to you about this trusting faith, which is developed in the Hebraic text.
Right.
But if you don't know what's in the Hebraic text, you don't know what trusting faith is all about. It's the backstory. He ain't telling you what the because you know the reason why? He's talking to Hebrews who know what the backstory is.
Right. He
doesn't have to explain it.
Exactly. Right. There's an assumption that's already there.
If I say to you, what are we going to do when the pops go off? What are the pops?
Yeah, what are
and when do the pops happen? Well, that's July the 4th. So now I haven't told you what July the 4th is, but it's the day when we pop off fireworks.
Yeah, so you know what that is.
So I'm talking about pops, but I'm not giving you the backstory because I'm talking to you because you know what the pops are.
Right.
Which is the same reason in Timothy, where he says all food is to be eaten with thanksgiving, with prayer and supplication, and not to be rejected. He doesn't have to tell you what food is because he's talking to Hebrew people who know what food is from Bereshit chapter 2, where he tells, I'm giving you food-bearing plants, and they know what food is from Vayikra chapter 11. So he doesn't have to explain it to you.
Right. 100%. I'm looking up something while you keep it sparking interest over here.
Now, for I'm not ashamed of the good news, since it is Yahweh's powerful means of bringing salvation to everyone who keeps on trusting, to the Hebrew or to Israel especially, but equally to the Gentile or to the nations. For it is revealed how Yahweh makes people righteous in his sight, and from beginning to end, it is through trust, as the Tanakh says, but a person who is righteous will live by trust. Listen to the rest of this text.
Okay.
What is revealed is Yahweh's anger from heaven against all godlessness and wickedness. Okay? So now we have to look at what is godlessness. We know what wickedness is. So his anger from heaven against all that Yahweh has said. Godlessness is what Yahweh has said, because Yahweh is the power. Okay? So what is revealed is Yahweh's anger from heaven against all that he has said, and wickedness of people who in their wickedness keep suppressing the truth. Well, what is the truth? And there's a period there. There's a semicolon. What is the truth? What is truth? Truth is in what Yahweh has said, in his rules and his teachings. That's truth.
Sure.
He tells you that is truth over and over again.
Yeah.
Verse 19, because what is known about Yahweh is plain to them. Who? To Israel, since Yahweh has made it plain to them. For ever since the creation of the universe, Yahweh's invisible qualities, both his eternal power and his divine nature, have been clearly seen because they can be understood from what Yahweh has made.
Well,
I'm reading this Hebraically.
I didn't know that was there.
I'm reading this Hebraically.
It says both his eternal power and his divine nature have been clearly seen because they can be understood from what he has made. Everything was made in the first 6 days.
Now, question. Question.
Yeah. That's dope.
Who created everything?
The Most High.
Did Jesus create everything?
Absolutely not. There's no evidence of that.
The Most High says in Isaiah, there was no alien God with me when I created the heavens and earth and the eternal people.
Right.
So Paul ain't talking about JC. Verse, therefore, now he finishes with, therefore they have no excuse, because they understand plainly from the invisible qualities, both his eternal power, Yahweh's eternal power, and his divine nature have been clearly seen, because they can understand what he, Yahweh, has made. Therefore they have no excuse, because although they know, who knows? Hebrew Israel knows who Yahweh is, they do not glorify him as Yahweh or thank him. On the contrary, they have become futile in their thinking. Who has become futile in their thinking? Hebrew Israel has.
Right.
And their discerning hearts have become darkened, claiming to be wise. They have become fools. In fact, they have exchanged the glory of the immortal Yahweh for mere images. Listen to what, listen. Come on, listen. They have exchanged the glory of the immortal Yahweh. They have exchanged the glory of the immortal set-apart spirit. They have exchanged the glory of the omniscient one to be a mere image.
Like, come on, keep going.
Like a mortal human being. Listen to what he's saying. He's telling you exactly what's taking place.
Yeah.
So if he's telling you what exactly is taking place, we can't insert into the origin or the beginning of this text anybody called Jesus Christ.
Agreed.
Is he talking out of both sides of his mouth?
If you leave Jesus in there, he is. If you take him out, no.
No. They have exchanged the glory of the immortal Yahweh for mere images, like a mortal human being, or like birds, animals, or reptiles. This is why Yahweh has given them up to the vileness of their hearts, lust, to the shameful misuse of each other's bodies. And they have exchanged the truth of Yahweh for falsehood by worshiping and serving the created things rather than the Creator. Praise be to He forever. Amen. I mean, how clear can the writer, how clear can Shaul be? He hasn't said anything. He hasn't said anything that would take him out of the foundation.
Yeah.
He hasn't said anything that would take him out of the foundation.
Yeah, reading this
he's supporting. He's holding true to Acts 24 and 14.
Being a supporter of the Torah. Yeah.
This is why Yahweh has given them up to degrading passions, so that their women exchange natural sexual relations for unnatural.
What? Okay. So now, as a Hebrew, all your mitzvot for sexual immorality should pop up.
They
as
pop
to
up
what
right
he's
here.
talking about here. That's the backstory to that.
That's the backstory.
Yep. So you can't insert other stuff in
No.
there.
See.
Talk about that sexuality.
Because
no, it's not.
because you don't know the mitzvot, now you don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
And likewise, the men giving up natural relations with the opposite sex. Mitzvot,
Yep.
you should not sleep with a woman as with a man, and a man as with a woman.
Right.
Burn with passion for one another, men committing shameful acts with other men, that's a mitzvot,
Yep.
and receiving in their own persons the penalty appropriate to their perversion.
Okay.
Now, what's the penalty?
Those are all abhorred. They're all abhorrent in the sight of the Most High. So you have to go back and read Vayikra chapter or Leviticus chapter 18.
Yeah.
It's in there. All
Yeah.
that stuff's there.
In other words, since they have considered Yahweh worth knowing, since they have not considered Yahweh worth knowing,
right.
Put a pin in that. I'm talking to individuals who are Christians all the time, and I'm talking to you about Yahweh, and you can't even get the name out of your mouth. He's not worth knowing. Yahweh has given them up to worthless ways of thinking. So now, if he's given them up to worthless ways of thinking, guess what they can't do? They can't discern the things of the Spirit.
True. So there's their
I'm reading the text here.
Yeah, that's their blind stupor.
Yeah, you see? So that they do improper things. They are filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, vice, stuffed with jealousy, murder, quarreling, dishonesty, ill will. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of Yahweh.
Off mitzvot.
They are insolent, arrogant, boastful. They plan evil schemes. They disobey their parents. They are brainless, faithless, heartless, ruthless. They know well enough Yahweh's righteous decree that people who do such things deserve to die. Yet not only do they keep doing them, but they applaud others who do the same. He's talking about the Christian church.
Oh, boy. Y'all need to go turn this thing off. You're going to get us in trouble. You're going to get us canceled, man.
He's talking about the Christian church.
Man, I'm about to leave.
He's talking about the Christian church.
I'm good.
Now, in chapter 1, has he said anything that violates his position of Acts 24 and 14?
Aside from the insert.
Aside from the fact that they have inserted JC into the text. You take JC out of the text, and Shaul is right on, is spot on. And as we read through here, the last part, he's quoting mitzvot after mitzvot after mitzvot after mitzvot.
Now that's to Shaul that you would sit in his congregation.
Absolutely. Therefore, the discussion goes on. It's really not a chapter. It's just the discussion goes on. Therefore, you, Hebrews,
James,
you, Israel, because he's right. He's talking to Israel. Mm-hmm. Romans. He's talking to Hebrew people in Rome, not Jews. He's talking to Hebrew people in Rome. Whoever you are passing judgment, for when you judge someone else, you're passing judgment against yourself, since you who are judging do the same things he does. We know that Yahweh's judgment lands impartially on those who do such things. Impartially. Mm-hmm. Do you think that you, a mere man, passing judgment on others who do such things, yet doing them yourself, will escape the judgment of Yahweh?
No.
He's telling you. He's telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Or perhaps you despise the riches of his kindness, Yahweh's kindness, the forbearance and patience, because you don't realize that Yahweh's kindness is intended to lead you to turn from your lawlessness, from your sin, from your Torahlessness.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how can he make this statement and then turn around and tell you you're not under the law? And that the law has been done away with. How can he do that?
Yeah, he's quoting it.
He's quoting it.
Yeah.
But by your stubbornness, by your unrepentant heart, you are storing up anger for yourself on the day of anger when Yahweh's righteous judgment will be revealed. So now he's telling you there's going to come a time of judgment when Yahweh's judgment is going to be revealed. He ain't talking about Jesus Christ's judgment. He's talking about Yahweh's judgment.
100%
will be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
For he will, Yahweh, he is Yahweh, will pay back each one according to his deeds, to those who seek glory, honor, and immortality by perseverance in doing good. He will pay back eternal life. But to those who are self-seeking, who disobey the truth and obey evil, he will pay back wrath and anger. Yes, he will pay back misery and anguish to every human being who does evil, to Israel first and then to the nations. But glory and honor and shalom to everyone who keeps doing what is good, to Israel first and then to the nations. For Yahweh does not show favoritism. All who have sinned, all who have been Torahless, all who have been lawless outside the framework of Torah will die outside the framework of Torah. And those who have sinned within the framework of Torah will be judged by Torah. Now that's true.
Yep.
If I'm going to prosecute you for something, I have to prosecute you on the basis of the law.
Right.
So I'm going to prosecute you on the basis of the law, which is Torah. For it is not merely the hearers of Torah whom Yahweh considers righteous. Rather, it is the doers of what Torah says who will be made righteous in Yahweh's sight.
So,
Has Paul said anything yet that's negative against Torah?
No, not at all. And this idea that Paul says that, that we don't attain eternal life by works.
Yeah.
You know that little piece that comes up all the time?
Yeah.
He says, for it's not merely the hearers of Torah who Yahweh considers righteous. Rather, it is the doers of Torah, says, who will be made righteous in Yahweh's sight. We understand when we actually do understand what righteousness actually is. Righteousness is defined over in Devarim chapter number 6, verse 25. If you don't have it, I'll read it for you, because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm just that nice. I'm going to read it for you. Read. Okay, I'm going to read. Devarim chapter number 28. 28. 25. 25. Is it 25? No, 6. Excuse me. 6 and 25. I messed that up. 6 and 25. I went too far. 6 and 25. It says, it will be righteousness for us if we are careful to obey all the mitzvot before Yahweh, RL, just as he ordered us to do. So he's telling us right there what righteousness is obeying. It will be righteousness for us if we are careful to obey all the mitzvot before Yahweh, RL, just as he ordered us to do.
So Paul,
definition of what righteousness is.
Shaul said, or Paul said, for it is not merely the hearers of Torah whom Yahweh considers righteous, rather it is the doers
of it.
those that obey what Torah says, who will be made righteous in Yahweh's sight.
100%. 100%.
For whenever Gentiles who have no Torah, because he didn't give it to them, he gave it to Israel, do naturally what the Torah requires, then these, even though they don't have Torah, to themselves are Torah. Still good. For their lives show that they conduct the Torah, the Torah dictates is written in their hearts. Their consciousness also bear witness to this, for their conflicting thoughts sometimes accuse them and sometimes defend them on a day when Yahweh passes judgment on people's inmost secrets, according to the good news as I proclaim it, period. Leave the rest of it off. But if you call yourself a Hebrew and rest on Torah and boast about Yahweh and know his will and give your approval to what is right because you have been instructed from the Torah, and if you have persuaded yourself that you are a guide to the blind, a light in darkness, now, we got to talk about this word blind. He's not talking about blind people. He's talking about if you have persuaded yourself that you are a guide to people who don't understand. That's what the word blind means in the text. And a light in darkness to those who are in darkness, an instructor for the spiritually unaware, and a teacher of children, since in the Torah you have the embodiment of knowledge and truth. So in the law you have the embodiment of knowledge and truth. Then you who teach others don't teach yourself. Preaching. Thou shalt not steal. Do you steal? Saying, thou shalt not commit adultery. Do you commit adultery? Detesting idols. Do you commit adulterous acts? You who take such pride in Torah, do you, by obeying the Torah, dishonor Yahweh? As it says in the Tanakh. For it is because of you that Yahweh's name is blasphemed by the nations. So now we know that blaspheming is not saying, God damn it.
Right.
It's by your actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 25, circumcision is indeed of value if you do what Torah says. So now you can't tell me, and you can't tell me in Corinthians 7 that being circumcised means nothing and circumcised being nothing. You can't tell me that because now you're telling me here in Romans, for circumcision indeed is valuable if you do what Torah says.
Right.
And in Corinthians he says, however, being circumcised and being uncircumcised means nothing, however, obeying the commandment.
Right.
He's quoting you the commandment here. So is he talking out of both sides of his mouth, or are the writers who are trying to express him violating him?
I would agree with the latter.
Therefore, if an uncircumcised man keeps the righteousness requirements of Torah, won't his uncircumcision be counted as circumcision? Now that's kind of twisted, okay? But if you are a transgressor of Torah, your circumcision has become uncircumcised. Okay, so now what he's saying there, If you violate Torah, you're no longer considered a Hebrew, because the covenant is in the flesh of the man,
Sure, 100%.
which is circumcision.
Yep.
Indeed, the man who is physically uncircumcised, now he's talking about physically, but obeys Torah, will stand as judgment on you who have been Brit Milah and have Torah written out but violated. For the real Hebrew is not merely a Hebrew outwardly. True circumcision is not only external and physical. On the contrary, the real Hebrew is one inwardly, and true circumcision is of the heart. Well, it's not. I don't have a problem because Moshe said, "I would that all of you had a circumcised heart." Okay, didn't he say that?
Okay.
Spiritually, not literally. The Hebrew is one inward. On the contrary, the real Hebrew is one inwardly, and the true circumcision is of the heart. Spiritually, spiritual, not literal. Now that's not true, because circumcision is literal. So that his praises come not from other people but from Yahweh. I'm gonna stop it there. That's two chapters. I mean, we can go on.
Keep going with this guy.
We can keep going on through chapter 3. But I think I've said enough here in the first 2 chapters to dispel the idea that Paul would say that we're not under the law.
Right.
And understanding that under the law means that we're not under the perversion of the law. And he's going to say that. He's going to say that in another text. As a matter of fact, it's in chapter 3. In chapter 3, verse 20, he uses these words. I'm going to go to I'm going to jump to chapter 3, verse 19. Moreover, we know what the Torah or the law says. It says to those living within the framework of the Torah or the law, in order that every mouth may be stopped and the whole world be shown to deserve Yahweh's adverse judgment. For in his sight, no one alive will be considered righteous on the ground of legalistic observance of Torah commands. That goes back up to the other part that we just talked about. Legalistic observance is the perversion of the Torah. He can't now come and tell you that it's not of value and the observance of it is not right, when everything he said in chapter 1 and chapter 2 supports the idea that the Torah or the law is in play.
Right.
For Hebrew Israel and for the Gentile nations.
100%. Couldn't have said it any better.
That's just chapter 1 and 2.
That's good.
I mean,
See, I like the perspective of really showcasing the Hebraicness of Paul.
Yeah. So you have to ask yourself the question, well, is Paul lying? Is he talking out of both sides of his mouth? I say no. I say what's happening. I say that the Greeks, the imperialistic Rome and the imperialistic Greeks are trying to alter the writings, and I believe they took this writing out of Paul's letters. I don't believe that Paul's letters had any inference to Jesus Christ in them.
In them at all. Yeah. I mean, the body of work that he does. I mean, if it's when you
But
consider everything he's talking about, the amalgam of stuff, it's just little portions of it where he's interjecting that Christ component in there. Otherwise, it's a Hebraic text. And again, I think that there's not enough evidence there to prove that even Paul would even lean towards that way.
Exactly.
Because when you look at the two major components, which is number one, his conversion, and then number two, his profession on who he is, he tells you my pedigree. Literally, I'm the police. I'm the guy that's going out there that if you're doing any minor violation, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And I'm that strict about what I am with Torah. And to turn around and say in his conversion, all it took was for you to fall down and hear somebody ask you, why are you hating on me? That's not enough to convince anybody that we're going to make a change. If you fell down and you saw stars and got winded, I don't think that would be enough for you to be like, you know what? We're going to abandon all this and we're going to go back and start worshiping Christ.
Right.
That ain't enough.
Listen, you imperialistic dogs
Okay.
have altered the writings of the Hebrew men who have stood for the things that are written in the foundation. And you've altered their writings to promulgate and promote your agenda, your Greek demigod, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
They're not writing about Jesus Christ. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 is substantiating and holding up the foundation of Torah and the law. It talks about it all the way through chapter 1 and chapter 2. I just read it to you. I could have read it to you out of your King James Bible, and it would have sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing changes.
Nothing. Still Hebraic text.
Hebraic text.
Yep.
Well,
what shall we say to these things?
what shall we say to these things? And this is what Shaw said.
Right.
What shall we say to these things? Shall we continue in lawlessness? Shall we continue in being without the Torah? Shall we continue without the law? Shall we continue in what 1 John chapter 3 says that
sin is the absence of
the law or Torah.
There's a violation of the law.
And that's what sin is. Shall we continue in that?
Right. No.
And he says no.
That grace may abound? Heavens no.
Heavens no. No. No.
Right. So.
Okay. All right.
Getting ready to park the bus, the train.
All right.
This
has been wonderful.
It has. Yeah. Learn something new every day.
When I went home from the podcast last week, after talking about Shaul, I go, let me take a look at Romans. Let me pull Romans up and let me walk through this Hebraically and see what's being said.
He's Hebrew.
I'm going to say it once again. For all of those of you who continue to say that Paul speaks against the law and the Torah, and that he said it's been done away with, chapter 1, verse 2 refutes that position. If I was in a court of law and submitting this argument before a judge, and the judge or the court knew the law book, they would uphold my argument, which is not an argument at all. It's just restating what the law book says.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Moray Robert B. Holman Jr. and
Moray Sean Appleton.
And this has been
Hebrews in Exile. Shalom.